You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures, and Lifestyles, and I'm Frank, because I have to be. We're continuing with our pre-recorded shows on a series on swinging. In studio right now, I have Mr. Jean Hamel, who is the president of the Quebec Swingers Association. Welcome back, Mr. Hamel.
Thank you.
Now, in this part, for the benefit of our listeners who might be a little confused as to what swinging is exactly, can we talk about what your definition of swinging is exactly?
Well, swinging is a sexual practice mostly accomplished by couples to have sex with different partners. In order to be comfortable in swinging, each mate inside a couple has to be very honest one to each other. They have to tell their fantasies. They always have to talk prior to a relation, after a relation, and even during a relation, a sexual relation, I mean, because it's not something that we're used to. All our life, the society has told us that if we want to be a good citizen, we have to find one lady, get married or get an engagement with that person, and only have sex with that same person for the rest of our life. But human beings are not like this. Human beings like to try. They like to change. They like to have a diversity in their life, and that includes their sexual life. So swingers are people who have understood this, and they were able to talk about it to their mate, and they try to gather, they try to go to houses, they try to go to different clubs in order to meet other people that have the same thinking.
So from what I understand here, are you saying that a swinger couple is much more likely to have open communication between each other than a couple that's not involved in swinging?
This is very hard to understand, and I don't think I'm the right person to tell you to speak for the majority or to speak for somebody else. But what I think is, yes, if you want to swing, if you're interested about having sex with someone else, which is not your regular mate or your lover, you need to have a very, very good dialogue inside your couple. Otherwise, it won't work. What I can tell you is I think that swingers are mostly honest to each other, because as soon as you think that you would like to have sex with someone else, I think that you're cheating your regular mate, because if you just think about it, it's exactly like if you do it for real. When you're a swinger, this part doesn't exist anymore, because when I think I'd like to have sex with a beautiful lady I meet one night, I can go to my girlfriend and I could tell her, hey, look at that person. Would it be nice to have sex with that person? So I'm not cheating on her. I'm making her participate in my fantasy. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Let's get back to the Quebec Swingers Association. I'd like to talk about its mandate to inform people. What does that incorporate?
Well, because swinging is misunderstood in the general public, the association has the mandate to make interviews like in your show, Frank, or any other radio shows, newspaper, TV. Every time somebody talk about swinging, we try to be there to make sure they understand what swinging is, not to let some bad ideas about swinging, because if someone has not been into a swing club, how can he talk about swingers if he is not a witness of that lifestyle? You have to witness it to understand those people and to understand all the respect there is in those places.
On that note, I think it's time that we bring up the fact that you are also the author of a book called Swinging, a Societal Phenomena. This is a book that focuses on the Quebec swing scene.
Exactly.
It's the only book of its kind written by a swinger, if that's my understanding. And this book can be available. How can people get a copy of this particular book?
Mostly in libraries or different swing clubs. There's even a website where they can order it directly, or any sex boutique will have it too.
All right, we're going to make a mention of that website just before we end off the program. One last question. Can you talk to me about some of the sacrifices that you've had to make in order to help create the Quebec Swingers Association?
Sacrifice is a very big word. I don't think there has been any sacrifices. I had a job because I think you're referring to the fact that I'm working full-time for the association or for the lifestyle in general. And I quit a very good job before I did that. But no, it was not a sacrifice. It was a time in my life where I wanted to do something else. And as much as I liked the job I did before I joined the association or I founded the association, I don't regret anything. Money is not the same, that's for sure, because the association is a non-lucrative association. But sometimes you have to put the money away and to be happy in what you do. That's all.
Jean, it's been really great having you on the show again.
Hey, it's always my pleasure to come and see you, Frank.
And before we sign off, I'd like you to give that website again for the Quebec Swingers Association, where people can pick up a copy of your book.
Okay, for the associations, it's AEQS as a swinging, a.com. And for the book, it's a French word. It's called échangisme.qc.ca. But if you go on the Swingers Association, there is a link to go for the book.
Fantastic. It's always a pleasure to have you come by, because you have a lot of great information and a lot of amazing insight into a world where a lot of people are curious about but may not have access to that information.
Hey, thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. What would your life be like if you knew exactly what to say and do with women? This book is for the guy that simply wants to learn how to handle women's tests by addressing her emotional needs. By this, you create the type of attraction that will make her see you as the one she was destined to be with. This book will teach you how to get the woman you want and how to keep her. Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test is the Rosetta Stone for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks and how to respond. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.